Today I'm going to teach the poem The Eagle by Alfred Lord Tennyson. This is one of the very first poems that come in your English literature textbook, and the poem The Eagle comes under the main theme of nature. The poem is written by famous British poet Alfred Lord Tennyson. He was one of the most outstanding poets that England produced, and he was also honored as the Poet Laureate by Queen Victoria during the Victorian era. He had written a number of poems, and some of the poems that he had written are Break, 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 A Farewell, All Things Will Die. The poem that we are going to study today is The Eagle. He clasped the crag with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands, ringed with the azure world he stands. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. He watches from his mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt he falls. Let's try and understand the poem. You can see there are some words that you need to know the meanings of. Clasps means to hold or grasp something very tightly with hands, with a lot of pressure. A crag is a rough, rocky part of a mountain cliff, usually a steep rock on the top of a mountain cliff. Azure is a color, that is the color of clear, cloudless sky, which is blue. Crawls is to move very slowly. These are the words that you need to know the meanings of. Let's try and understand the poem now. He clasped the crag with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands, ringed with the azure world he stands. So, as you know, the title is The Eagle, you know that the writer is talking about the bird eagle. What is the bird eagle doing here? He clasps the crag with crooked hands. So, the eagle is on the mountain top, on a crag, on a very steep rock on the mountain cliff, and he's holding on to that crag very tightly with his claws. But instead of using the words claws, the writer says crooked hands to give a better picture for the reader. Close to the sun in lonely lands. So this mountain top is a really high place, and there are no any other animals seen around the eagle, or any other humans or any creatures. Only the eagle could be seen, and the eagle looks like he's very close to the sun at the top of a really tall mountain. Ringed with the azure world he stands. So behind the eagle, it looks like the eagle is actually ringed or maybe surrounded by the sky. The azure world here means the sky. And the eagle, he stands, is perched, he stands tall on the mountain top. So you can see a clear picture of an eagle who is perched on the mountain top, and behind him there is a sunny blue sky, and there is no any other creature around him. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls, so the eagle looks down at something that's below him, and that is the wrinkled sea. So the sea with its waves look like it's wrinkled. The sea waves look like wrinkles because it's so far down. The eagle is so high up on a mountain. When the eagle looks down, he could see the sea waves like wrinkles, and he could see like the sea is crawling, moving very slowly. He watches from his mountain wall, so he could have a clear view of everything around him and below him from where he's standing. Where is he standing? He's perched on his mountain walls. The writer says, wherever he's standing, perched on, is his. The mountain looks like it's his own, it's the eagle's mountain. And like a thunderbolt, he falls. So at the end, after standing perched on the mountaintop, finally the eagle attacks. He flies downwards like a thunderbolt. So, this is what you understand by the scene described by the writer. So, once you have understood what the poem is about at a surface level, now we can go ahead and analyze the poem. Let's analyze the poem line by line and see what the writer tries to say through this poem. So, there are some words here that you learned the meanings of, but what could these words mean at a deeper level? He clasped the crag with crooked hands. The word clasp means holding on to something with a lot of pressure tightly. So this word could imply power. Then in the next line, close to the sun in lonely lands. So the eagle looks like he's very close to the sun. So you know that the sun is a very powerful element. The sun is the ultimate source of power, as we all know. So, if the eagle is close to the sun, that means the eagle is also powerful like the sun. So, this phrase also implies power. In the next line of the stanza, ringed with the azure wool, he stands. Even the phrase he stands shows power. It looks like he's standing tall on his own. So these words, clasped close to the sun and he stands, imply the idea of power. And also, the title of the poem, The Eagle, is symbolic because the eagle is one of the most powerful birds in the living world. So, the title symbolizes power. Look at the phrases that I have written in red: close to the sun, lonely lands, ringed, azure world. So these phrases imply that the eagle is in an unreachable location and the eagle is really powerful and he is isolated like a king in his own kingdom. So the eagle here is described in a way so that it brings out one theme of the poem, that is powerful men in the society. Think of powerful men in the society. Try to relate it to the scene of eagle here. Powerful men in the society, like this eagle, they know how to hold on to something with a lot of power. They are also close to other powerful people, like the eagle is close to the sun. And powerful people in the society don't have much friends. They are isolated, like the eagle is in a lonely land. And powerful people have their own world, have their own kingdom, which is usually unreachable to other people, like it is shown here in these lines. So you can see there is a clear picture of power shown through these lines. It also shows the power and majesty of nature as well. That is also another theme of the poem. By describing the scene of the eagle, describing the sun, and the world behind the eagle, the writer tries to convey the theme of majesty of nature as well. Let's look at some literary techniques found in these lines. The writer has personified the eagle because instead of referring to the eagle as it, the writer uses he here. He clasped the crag with crooked hands. The writer has given hands to the eagle. So here you can clearly see personification has been used. By giving human attributes to the eagle, the writer makes it easy for the reader to understand that what the writer is trying to convey, which is the power of men in the society, powerful men in the society. Then you can also see there is alliteration here. The sound ker in the first line, the sound ker is repeated. Clasp, crag, crooked. You can also see another phrase where you could find alliteration, that is lonely lands. The sound l is repeated. The phrase close to the sun has the literary technique which is hyperbole. The eagle is not really close to the sun, but it looks like the eagle is close to the sun. The writer has used this hyperbole again to convey the idea of power. So instead of simply using the word the blue sky, the writer says the azure world. So there is figurative language as well. So when you read these lines, you can also visualize an image, a picture here. So these lines also contain visual imagery. You can see a clear picture of an eagle. You can see a clear picture of the theme power or majesty of nature. You can also picture in your mind the powerful people in the society through this. Let's look at the second stanza. The wrinkled sea beneath him crossed. The wrinkled sea. The eagle is so high up on the mountain. The sea looks like it's crawling, and the sea waves look like mere wrinkles. So there is a really long distance between the sea and the top of the mountain. This again shows the power of the eagle. This also refers to powerless people. The wrinkled sea refers to powerless people who are under the mercy of the powerful people. The powerful being the eagle here. He watches from his mountain walls. So the figurative language here the writer has used, he has used it to refer to the eagle's home as if it is the mountain is owned by the eagle himself. Instead of simply saying he watches from the mountain walls, the writer says that the mountain walls are actually the eagle's. It's like it's his own fortress, it's his own kingdom. That also shows the power of the eagle. And the eagle is so powerful and it's so high up on the mountain, he could watch everything that's around him and below him. He has a really good clear weave of everything that's below him. That again maybe imply that the eagle has a really sharp vision. And in the third line, and like a thunderbolt he falls. That is a very easy literary technique to spot the use of simile here. It shows again the power of the eagle. So, because the writer mentions a thunderbolt, we can see that the eagle is flying downwards with so much swiftness and danger and destructive nature like a thunderbolt. So the simile again has been used to showcase the theme of power. These lines also imply power of nature, majesty of nature as well. So, what are the themes of the poem? The themes of the poem are the majesty and the power of nature that has been described all throughout the poem, and also powerful authoritative men in the society. The eagle in the poem represents the authoritative men in the society. The eagle also represents the nature. So the poet has used one of the most powerful of birds to represent nature as well as these powerful men in the society. There is a rich description shown in the poem about the eagle. This rich description of the eagle as well as the environment around the eagle illustrate the majesty of nature. Then the eagle's isolated nature, its closeness to the sun, its ferocity and power against the wrinkled sea beneath shows the power of authoritative men against the powerlessness of those who are under them. Before wrapping up today's session, I would like to say goodbye to you with a question. Now that we have analyzed, now that we have studied, understood, analyzed the poem The Eagle by Alfred Lord Tennyson, I want you to try and answer this question. The poem The Eagle conveys the sheer power of nature. Discuss this statement. I will see you next time with a new poem. Thank you very much for watching.